These are the Leiblers. They live in Austin, Texas, and have one child whose name is Erin. Erin is 26 years old, and she has autism.
Just the three of us in our nuclear family. Extended family is pretty far away. We don't have anybody else in our family in Texas. They're all over the country. They're all very invested in Erin.
We've had a lot of family support, pretty much every way.
Yeah, except hands-on,
Yeah.
because they're not here. I think that would have been different if we had been closer. With the help of Texas Parent to Parent organization. So we have meetings every 4 months roughly, and have all the extended family on Zoom. And then we have caregivers and friends in Austin who attend in person, and they all know what's going on with Erin. Well, we have 3 different attendants right now, 3 different generations too of attendants, and it's really opened up her world to her, and it has made a huge difference in her happiness. And it's made so that makes a huge difference for us in our happiness too.
School, and then school has kind of transitioned into, the day camps.
That she loves with Austin Parks and Rec Department. She goes to 2 different Parks and Rec facilities with wonderful people.
So she has an outing with an attendant pretty much every day,
Yeah.
unless somebody's sick, 7 days a week.
And she's required to have an attendant now, not always, but now she's required to have an attendant at her Parks and Rec programs.
One of the 2.
At one of the 2. And the other one, she does better. They don't enforce it, but they said it's better if she does have an attendant there. And with the reasoning that she doesn't often want to be a part of the structured programs, and she's not allowed to go off by herself since she's mostly nonverbal.
Erin also struggles with sensory sensitivities, especially when around small children or babies. She has historically presented behaviors in self-harm, such as hair pulling, and also throwing objects. It was especially a hard time during COVID. On the parent side of things, the ongoing need for constant attendance in structured environments has taken a toll in the parents' ability to go out and do things for themselves and their own flexibility. But for Erin, those structured environments and consistent attendance has allowed her to have more independence, as well as being able to go and meet new people and be amongst her peers in the programs that she is in. One of these programs is called the Children's Association for Maximum Potential, and that is actually where I got to meet Erin 5 years ago. Though this program is not a daily resource of joy in life for Erin, it is something that she gets to go to over the summer.
Texas is notorious for having limited services for this population. The wait list is criminal.
Yeah. Well over 10 years.
And we were told it was 10 years when we signed up.
It's more like 20
15 years ago.
People say, but anyway.
I want to quickly recap what we learned from Erin's family's characteristics. Erin has 2 amazing and such involved parents that push her to be as independent as possible and as involved in all of her daily activities, while still maintaining the direct support that she needs. With less direct support coming from relatives, Erin's family relies on the support of her current 3 attendants that help daily. Because of the support, even if Erin has challenges that may arise due to sensory sensitivities, she is still able to participate in her daily life and routines. As previously mentioned, Erin has lots of family members that include 3 grandparents and lots of aunts and uncles that love and support Erin from afar. The whole family is rarely able to see each other, but Erin's family is able to make a road trip to Colorado for Erin's grandfather's birthday once a year. So as far as the constant care that is needed for Aaron, that goes on the backs of Jill and Andy. From what I have learned, the parental responsibilities have remained equal, but there have been moments where the amount of direct care has fluctuated.
Routine of going to school, that freed up time in the day for us. We weren't, caregivers having to come up with, activities, entertainment 24/7. Well, every waking moment anyway.
This section is a huge transition point in the amount of care and support that Jill and Andy receive through home and community-based services through the Medicaid long-term care waiver. It's a huge point in this family's life that impacted how Aaron is now able to receive services and go to all of the activities that we have mentioned before.
A friend of ours who also got a crisis diversion for her son sat me down and said, here is why you need it. Aaron was having just more and more bizarre behaviors and she was trying to work things out, but she was throwing things over the back fence into people's yards, and not just, a ball or something. She was throwing things that would, glass that would shatter, or not trying to hurt anybody. She just wanted things out. She was just, and having aggression at home, some self-harm, like with her hair.
Quite a bit.
And
our case manager wrote a letter making a case for us to get a crisis diversion slot.
Because we were in crisis at the time, really.
Fortunately, we were accepted, and it's changed everything. The services we get, we don't take advantage of all the services now. They will kind of play out over the course of Aaron's life, but the ones we are able to take advantage of now are the fact that the program pays our attendance. We get 49 hours a week of paid attendant time, and which is wonderful. Before that, we were paying out of pocket, which adds up and limits our ability to,
It's hard to imagine how stressful this time period was. I mean, this time period really could have easily broken Jill and Andy's relationship. When I asked them about how they were able to conquer the conflict and any other conflict in general, they shared that because their philosophy and parenting style is aligned, it helps reduce conflict. They're able to talk things out easier, and they all have the same goal in mind. They want Aaron to have happiness, autonomy, and they want her to have a life full of joy.
We'll have very different views on education, recreation, schooling, health, lots of different things, living situations, things like that. But we are very lucky that we both have the same philosophy and the same parenting style. I think.
Yeah, I think the challenges have brought us closer together because there's, the more that we've shared, honestly.
Yeah.
Concluding the family interaction section, Erin is just so loved by so many people, especially her family. Even if family is not as close by as some may hope, they are directly involved through the Texas Parent-to-Parent Network that allows Jill and Andy to have the support from all of the people that care and love about Erin most. And of course, now that Erin is receiving home care services through the Medicaid Waiver Crisis Diversion Program, she is not experiencing increased behavioral challenges that we're seeing during Jill and Andy and the entire family's crisis moment during COVID. There's no longer any safety concerns, and she is living a happy and consistent life. This also means that Jill and Andy just get to be the most loving parents that they have always been, but with less stress and less financial burdens. I think the biggest takeaway for me in the family interactions portion is that because Jill and Andy had a consistent goal, the consistent goal being as simple as Erin's happiness in mind throughout all of the crisis and stress, they were not only able to manage the crisis, but also still stay in tune with their relationship. For the Leibler family, travel looks a little bit different. They are unable to take an airplane, and they quote that the airplane would have to stop midair if there was a child crying on the plane. All jokes aside, they do go on a once-a-year road trip to Colorado for Erin's grandfather's birthday. This is made possible by Jill and Andy's collaborative effort to make sure that they have a system for going to the bathroom and different things like that.
Once a year, beginning of June, my dad has a birthday. So my father's 95, still living. He lives in Denver, and we drive out for his birthday. So it's our annual road trip, and we stay with my twin sister and her husband. And when Erin walks into their house, it's like she's at home. That's probably the only. Well, it is the only family member we visit regularly. We have been up to see Jill's dad, but that's a longer trip all the way up to, well, it had been to South Dakota, and he's living in Minnesota now.
We don't fly with her. We
Yeah.
don't feel comfortable at all. She's a good road trip girl.
It's pretty limiting. We can't just ad lib on a trip and
No.
do a side trip.
And we are not going to stop and go for a hike in the mountains or anything like that.
Yeah.
There's no, so the long answer to your question is it has greatly impacted our recreation.
Yeah, we compare ourselves with peers, without special needs members of the family, and it's just, there's no comparison.
There's no comparison.
We don't have the ability to do any kind of vacationing, traveling like they do.
And she loves staying in a hotel.
Yeah.
She doesn't want to go anywhere. She doesn't want to go to a museum or anything like that. So
When talking about the impacts on families and relationships, I think one key
Yeah,
area to look at is how much a family is able to travel, or how much time a family is able to participate in recreational activities. Knowing this can kind of give us a glimpse into their world, because travel needs to be supported by money. And it also can tell us the limitations that are on a family due to the levels of support needed for their child or children. Looking at the Leibler's family dynamic, we can see that before Erin was receiving HCS services, they were less likely to travel. And so I think that gives us a really good glimpse into their world. But one thing that they did mention is that as Erin has grown up and has been able to receive benefits such as the HCS Crisis Diversion Plan, the family has been able to do more things. Jill and Andy, and specifically, they have been able to do more. They have been able to take 2 milestone trips without Erin for the first time since their honeymoon. And for the context of this class, it's important to mention that this was only possible due to trusted attendants that genuinely care about Erin's family. And I think what I've learned is they have the same goals as Jill and Andy. They want Erin to succeed and to be happy.
They tell us, go do it again, as things come up, and we
stay
will.
longer. And so we're thinking, well, we would like to do a trip and maybe be gone longer than just 4 days and 3 nights. But we're not ready to go too far to do that in case we need to get back quickly. But I don't know, we've got a pretty good support system in place right now.
Yeah. Different. We're in the special needs community.
Yeah, that's the club we're in. We've met some amazing people. Really, pretty much everybody is pretty amazing.
And it's not. They aren't people we would have met otherwise.
So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of positive to look at it, but there are limitations. Like we can't just schedule whatever we want when we want.
So people will have parties, or we're going to travel somewhere. Let's all go to the beach, or let's all go do something. And for 27 years, since being pregnant, that doesn't include us. We can't just at the drop of a hat go to dinner. We can't take her to dinner with us.
I think of the times when like Christmas parties and birthday parties and things like that. We want to go. We want to be with our friends. And for everybody else attending, they just show up. They just get in the car and go. We've got to work with a limited number of babysitting options. And this is, of course, over the years.
And for a long time, she just couldn't do it. She couldn't handle having somebody come in, even somebody she knew. She couldn't handle having us leave. So for the most of the time, until really this waiver, shortly before we got the waiver is when we found our first awesome attendant. So that's 4 years or so. We just tag teamed everything. And even now, if we go to visit family, Erin can't tolerate sometimes the whole big gang, especially if there are little kids there. One of us will leave with her. So you miss the party, or a chunk of it. And it's just kind of the way it is. And I've been resentful at times of that. I have to be honest. Not resentful of you, but resentful of the situation.
The situation.
But it's just the way it is.
I think the biggest thing that we've learned from this section is that it takes a village. I think for me, I definitely never thought about how much planning, how much time, how much money, really, it takes to even go on a trip. I think it's maybe my privilege of not having a child with a disability, but I really did learn about how I can have more empathy for families that I'm working with, because it takes a lot of effort to even do something as simple as a trip.
Well, early days, she kind of hated it,
Sounds like Erin.
Yeah, and then in Montessori, she kind of liked.
She liked the teachers.
She liked the teachers. She never really wanted to be so much around other special needs kids. She went to one school that was a very open school that had typical and neurodiverse IDD all, but she hated being. I don't know, maybe it was the noise that she hated. I'm not sure. But
my personal opinion is that in the K through 12 setting, she was it seemed like the emphasis was to try to get her to fit what they wanted. How many numbers can Erin count? How many words can she, the academic stuff. And of course, it's a school district. I get that, but that really wasn't where she was thriving. She she needed to uh, have more nurturing of her independence, her creativity, her social skills, her just, enjoyment of being Erin.
But we hired somebody. I'll cry. Mark.
Erin pretty much chose she literally did choose the young man. He was 20 something, who we wound up hiring. He was great, named Mark.
We never thought we'd hire a guy.
Yeah.
Because she would, not go into bathrooms, but he was so incredible. He was a teacher also.
Yeah,
He just got
and so he treated it as a teaching job. He would have Erin put on her backpack and walk from downstairs in our house to upstairs, where they would set up and do his lesson plans for the day. And then they would take breaks and go out back and do some artwork, and they would,
jump on the trampoline and go swim and go canoeing, and but he got her ready to go to school. And the only reason I think she could go to public school is because of him.
Yeah. We did that for several years, 3 or 4 anyway. And then.
Or she went to public school the next year.
Okay. But in the summers, I guess we still hired people.
Yeah, we still hired people, you're right.
Yeah. So she went 2 years to an elementary school.
Okay.
Yeah, it was okay. She really bonded with some of the teachers' aides. In fact, one of the aides is still a good family friend. Went to middle school, and again, it was okay. It was really nothing special.
She was in life skills classes throughout every year, and she never. What do you call it? You're going into not
mainstreamed
or what if you go. I can't think of the word.
General education?
Yeah, she really didn't get into a general education class.
No, she didn't want to do that at all. They tried, so it was available, but she was not comfortable going into those
I think maybe
classes.
art was the only class,
and maybe only a few times.
Yeah.
So got through the entire.
She was basically with a group of similar kids who were off on their own in their own room of the school.
Yeah. And in high school, it was even a separate
tucked
wing.
away.
Yeah. But she kind of preferred that, I think. Well, I don't know if she preferred it, but she did not want to be out in the general population of the school ever. They tried. And then in high school.
And that went all the way through high school. Did you have something?
I was just going to say that her last year of high school, when she was 18, the teacher told us about a program at a school called Rosedale in Austin that's specifically for kids who are IDD or on the spectrum, have all different disabilities, physical as well.
Well, it's part of the school district, public school.
And drives from the whole city.
And they served students up through age 22 per federal law. So we applied there, got in, and it was the best education experience Erin had all the way through school. It's not even close. She got into a group that did field trips, outings. The staff was just so upbeat and invested in the kids. And
it was an 18+ program, and it was called I know this right now, I can't seem to come up, but like transitions to adulthood type of a program out in the community. The paperwork alone is, which you probably know, your mom probably has to, she's probably constantly doing paperwork on each of her students. And it meant that the teachers really didn't get to engage with the students at all. They were just the ones who were having to do all of the different forms, all the different reports. And we've known people over the years who were up in arms about the programs that their kids were in, and you've got to get a special ed attorney, and you've got to fight. And Andy and I early on decided we're not fighting anything unless there's a terrible event. We were not beyond, I don't want to say bribing teachers, but boy, we brought cookies all the time. Anything they need. You need artwork, you need magazines, you need anything you need, we are bringing it, because we wanted them to know us and to know that we were watching, not in a bad way, but to know we wanted to be participants in that education. I think that helped, which doesn't mean they could only do what they could do within their system and what they. Someplace more like Rosedale, actually, and that would have been an option. We didn't understand exactly what Rosedale was, and it might not have been the best place for her when she was younger, who knows now. But the way that Rosedale is now is something that's more open, and that a student doesn't have to stay in one place. And because at Rosedale, the kids were free to move around, not just wander around, alone, and and just leave on their own. Of course, it's a little, but Erin had a lot of latitude to be able to be herself and to be out in the school. Everybody knew her, and in a huge school like Austin High, there's no way that everybody can know everybody else.
Erin was given the job of trash and recycling, and so she would go around the school and empty trash bags and replace the bags, and empty recycling containers, replace the bag. And she, of course, Erin will OCD on things, and so there would be maybe a few scraps of paper in a trash bag. She would empty it, and the comment was made to us one time, yeah, we did seem to go through a lot of trash bags when Erin was doing that.
Yeah.
But she felt good about herself. It was her job.
And it's still her job now. And she takes it very seriously. She empties the dishwasher every morning. She loads the dishwasher throughout the day. She pretty much washes the dishes before they go in the dishwasher. That's okay. But she has a lot of rules at home. I mean, her self-imposed rules.
And every year more kids like Erin graduate from school and are ready for the adult programs. So there was a lot of demand to get in those programs, and so they did, as well as they could, rationing the spots. But we wound up with maybe a day or two to start with.
That's right, when we first started, and she had been a part of their ongoing programs for years.
And we had fully, for years and years, and basically on as much as we wanted to basis, summers, holidays. There was a Christmas camp. There was a
spring break camp.
And so we had hoped and kind of expected to transition into a full-time level of day programming. Well, COVID and everything else changed that. So we started slowly. So with the day camps.
As somebody who is going to work on maybe possibly building schools, during the family life cycle, I took a lot of time to ask questions about what their favorite school was, what made it successful for Aaron, what would they imagine a school to be like. And so a lot of the family life cycle questions were focused on schools throughout the ages to get that cycle part in there. But I learned a lot. I learned that it needs to focus on creativity and the actual person first. And I think that implementation is simple, it just isn't what current public systems look like. And so I really think that I can implement it if the time comes. Gosh, I think there's a lot that we can learn from the Libler story. I think some of the major takeaways for me will be that every family's story is different, but as long as you're willing to sit and listen, you have a better shot. And as long as your goals align with the parents, in sense of the child's best interest, I think that you will be very successful.
I can think of something.
Yeah.
Always include that person in the conversation rather than talk about them as if they're not there. We have struggled with that uh, through her whole life with caregivers, with teachers, with doctors, that we want Erin to be included in the conversation and not speaking for her, since she is mostly nonverbal. She's got pretty good receptive language. And I think we just have to assume with most people in this population that they are understanding what's going on. So Erin's caregivers are all, one in particular is really good at making sure that Erin is a we and not, well, Erin did this or Erin did that, Erin ate this. It's Erin, you really enjoyed going to the splash pad today. We really had fun. We went out and ate it at Whole Foods, right, Erin? Or so I think that's something that's really important, is to make that person know that you see them as part of the conversation.
And related, just to be aware that and to be open to who they are. They're not going to fit your assumptions of a typical person. So let them be themselves, but be aware of who they are.
One of the things that we put in our first original ad for Mark, and then we continued, is unflappable, because you have to be cool if they decide to lay down in the middle of the grocery store on the floor and and not freak out. That's a lesson that I still have trouble with, but
Sure.
yeah, but our caregivers are all just, they're cool. And
Yeah.
that's a good thing to know.
Be in the moment
Yep.
with her.
Yep.